Hey everybody, and welcome along to this week's edition of the Irish Golfer Podcast. Peter Finnan here, and joined by Rory McIlroy.
How are we?
Good now, and you?
I'm good.
Keeping well?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
We go straight to golf. We avoid all football talk.
I think we should, yeah. For the best.
I think, yeah. But
there's no club talk on international breaks anyway, so.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. It's a good point. Yeah, but then we're bringing the Yanks in to play for Ireland.
Yeah, true.
Total two fingers up to the League of Ireland. The dentist knows best.
We're bringing the lads off the Corn Ferry Tour.
Yeah, we're a couple of days late this week bringing you the podcast, and we called it last week. We were going to do it this way, just waiting to see how Q School panned out. We probably could have done it Monday, but we said we'd wait because at least one of them made the cut. So I suppose before we get stuck into that, this podcast is brought to you in association with Flowgas. Visit flowgas.ie for all your energy needs. And the big three are, Ronan?
Gas, electricity.
Yes. Sunshine, take sunshine.
Heat? No, not heat.
Heat. Solar. You're a clown. I'd like to apologise to everyone in Flow. We have one job to do for them every week. Do an ad read, get these three things out. Gas, electricity, solar, flowgas.ie, household, commercial, business plans, all you need. And every week I tee you up, and every week you fail.
I got it right last week. And with respect, you're reading off an ad read. I have a blank screen here.
I'm not reading off.
I'm looking at the Q School leaderboard.
But yeah, so we call it out all the time. They support golf at every level, from amateur right up to some of our leading tour pros. They give them a chance. They put their logo onto their sleeve. They try and fund them in any way they can. Plus supporting Golf Ireland through so many initiatives and so many championships. So if you are up for renewal, it's coming into that time of the year when it's important to get these decisions right. Your energy provider. They do offer really good value, so give them a chance. Visit flowgas.ie. Right. Q School. Should I be playing? Like, I know I did.
Yeah, you did for Tommy
I
that
did
time.
for Tommy.
Yeah, I was thinking
We
you
buried
would.
Tommy. No, you can't go that bad.
No.
Jesus.
Tough exam.
It was a tough exam, wasn't it? So we started off with 5.
Yeah.
And it was looking really promising through 2 rounds.
Yeah, a lot of lads had good starts, and it really tailed off in the
third round.
Third round was really, really damaging. And Mark Power is the one who made the cut, and even he himself shot a 76 in round 3. He comes away with a Challenge Tour card or Hotel Planner Tour card for next season, which is progression considering where he was as recently as a month ago. He was on the Clutch Pro Tour, got his first win. And now he has a card. He has a foothold now in the professional game, but this is DP World Tour, Q School, and the reality is for the 3rd year in a row, we come away with no cards. And, whoever is in charge of this, I'm sure alarm bells at some stage need to be ringing or else just change the fucking batteries in them.
Yeah. we have, this is not a new problem.
No, this is the 3rd year in a row and the 8th time since 2010.
Yeah.
This is no fluke.
Yeah, it's the norm. Like we're shouting at it now, like it's something out of the ordinary, or it's something new, or it's something. Oh my God, how has this happened? This hasn't just snuck up. It's been, the writing's been on the wall for a good number of years, and as far as I can remember, even before COVID, just use COVID, use 2020 as a barometer when everything got reset on cards and Q schools and tours and all that. Even before that, it was a problem. And I don't think anything has changed from the direction Team Ireland, Golf Ireland. Have we changed direction? Have we pivoted in any way? Have we changed the way we do things? I know they're looking at other nations, and you did a piece last year, and you had a lot of input from Neil Manship, and you had a lot of input from a lot of players that are on the periphery that were not happy with the way things were going, not happy with the way things were funded, being allocated. And And we gave a lot of feedback, and we changed a lot in that article as well. Like, that article was quite damning before it went out, and we had input from guys that had been through this, guys like Peter Lowry and Damien McGrain and guys like that they're there and want to help.
Yeah, it would appear they're not being allowed to help. Like, the statistics are damning, to be perfectly honest. And I think even the most optimistic Irish golf fan would have been really, really doubtful about getting any cards this week.
I wasn't. That was the thing.
Yeah,
You remember me last week?
but-
My bold stupidity. Like, I feel like an absolute tool. Now, it is positive that Mark has got his hotel planner card. That is a positive.
Yeah, and I'd be hopeful. There's a crop now, him, Max Kennedy, Liam Nolan, Connor Purcell, James Sugru,
All together.
Yeah. And you'd hope, in the similar model to what happens with the Danes and the Swedes and the Spanish, etc., who were miles behind now, by the way, they all get to live together, practice together, and you just never know, that might bring each other on, and you might get 2 cards on the DP World Tour next year. Even getting one would be a success. But certainly for Mark, he should be commended on a very good end to the season. Like, he's given himself,
He'll be delighted.
He's given himself a good chance going into next year. But it's a tiny little spark aside from a problem which has been going on for 15 years.
And this is not like, we're talking about this because it is negative. There's no way of we're not pointing fingers at players. They're all trying their heart out. Like, they're all working their arses off to try and get stuff done. But are the right structures in place to give these players the best chance to actually just put their talent on the line and do it? And like, their preparation to all this and fundamentals and setups and plan and all this, all the things that you're saying, like, it's key to winning. Just like, none of them get a chance. Like, and case in point, and I always refer back to McGinley on a lot of these things, and the way Paul McGinley, after the Ryder Cup that has just gone, has laid out the difference between why Europe won that Ryder Cup. He would talk for hours on the difference, but the main thing that they hang it on is they outprepared the Americans. And how they outprepared them is they did an away recce trip beforehand. They, like, 2 weeks before the Ryder Cup, they all flew out. They all went over. They'd never done that before on an away Ryder Cup. They stayed in the hotel that they were going to stay in. They found all the faults. They changed the mattresses. They changed the sheets. They changed where sunlight was getting in. They had all their clothes tailored. The week of the Ryder Cup normally, and they know as players, they get to sign 800 to 1,000 pieces each as a player. They did all that 2 weeks previous. Then they fecked off on their holidays out to Long Island, stayed in houses, played a bit of golf. So when they rocked up on the Monday of the Ryder Cup, they had nothing to do, only play golf. And that seems to be where some of our guys are falling down. That there's too much else to do. There doesn't. I don't know. Like, you've spoken to most of these guys.
The players are aware of this. They're aware of the difficult transition that we seem to be having from elite amateur to the professional ranks. And like, you take Denmark, for example. If you turn pro, you're allowed reintegrate yourself back with the national panels, practice with them, have the same access to nutritionists, physios, whatever. Thomas Bjorn mentors them. The whole guards go in, give nuggets of advice, as do some of the other pros who are doing well. And there's just this whole cohesive sort of quid pro quo kind of a thing going on where everyone's pulling in the same direction. And that's how you bring people on. I mean,
but does that not happen in the team Ireland? Like, I know Rory McIlroy jumps on a lot. Like, Neil Manship does call on Rory, Shane. These guys do have an input, but is there a structure around that input as to why, where, like every time we talk to Pádraig Harrington, every time, and at the Irish Open this year, I asked him a very pointed, specific question in the presser. You were there sitting beside me. Do you seek out these kids to play golf when you come here to an Irish Open? Do you seek them, or do they seek you, or do you feel a responsibility? And he says, I go out of my way every year to find out who is playing, and I get 18 holes with them. And I talk to them, and I sound them out, and I see exactly what is going on, or how I can help, or see if they're asking the right type of questions, where they're at with their own game, how can I help in any way? how is someone like Harrington not more involved in it? I know he's involved in his own game and his own, like, but there is the godfather, like a world golf Hall of Famer, a living legend. Like, it's, I don't know how the structure of this works, but I know the way we're doing it now is not serving the best interests of the crop of players we have.
Yeah, and like Golf Ireland should be commended as well. In fairness,
Absolutely.
Like they do get you a lot of hotel plan tour starts, and without that, Liam Nolan wouldn't be anywhere at all this year, and that's fair play. But there's got to be more than that. Like you do wonder where the 5 million quid that's been handed out to players and with their funding for the season, where that's gone over the last 15, 20 years.
Like it's been invested
you can't just hand people money and say, right, off you go.
Yeah. I don't think it is that simple. I know this is so complicated and it's so multifaceted and layered, but like where it's not anybody's fault as such. We're not pointing fingers. Like we're not saying Golf Ireland are doing a bad job, Team Ireland, what's this? It's more the structures of what we're doing need to be addressed and need to be looked at in a way. Is there a more productive way of doing this? Is there a more... And I think if you were to ask every one of those 5 players, plus the guys that have missed, like where does John Ross Galbraith go now? How does like we have a magazine out this week and we have a piece with Rob Brazel in there. Like guys that miss out, like Alex Maguire missed out on stage 1 at Q School. Like where they're all still supported by Golf Ireland in some ways. Rob isn't, but there's I don't know, there has to be a better way, like with the money that we're spending, with what we're doing. We just need more structure, and it's not money.
The money's there.
It's a plan of
how they implement systemic. This. It's systemic. Like they're going to develop an indoor facility, which needs to happen. Like the Golf Ireland Academy, in my opinion, isn't fit for purpose. I think everyone would agree with that. Everyone would agree with that.
Even Golf Ireland agree with that.
Yeah, it's a driving range on the back of a hotel. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah, there's nothing high performance about it.
No, there's nothing high performance about it.
Go up to the opposite end of the range with a TrackMan and hit balls.
Yeah, that's not enough. There needs to be... It needs to be an academy. An academy is where it's for you to develop your game. I don't think you can develop your game if you're in Carton House.
They have planning permission for all that now, and they're doing that.
And that's good.
It's all good, but it's 10 years too late good.
Yeah.
Like Irish golf was booming 20 years ago.
Oh, we were miles ahead of so many other countries. Like even, when
was the last time this actually happened that we had when you take the outliers, the Shanes, the Rorys, and the Harringtons, guys that play full time in the States, when was the last time we did not have a player on the DP World Tour?
Don't think it's ever happened.
No, neither do I. I'm working in golf now 25 years, and I don't have it has got worse, because I know 20 years ago we had 20 lads.
Like the European Tour was founded in 1971. I think this is the first. And you're talking over 50 years. But like it's reflected in results even across and it's just numbers wise as well. Like participation's down on tour, on the PGA Tour, and even on the smaller tours. Like you look at 2010, the last time we had 3 players in the Ryder Cup team. We GMAC second at the race to Dubai. Peter Lowry, Garrett Mabion, McGrain, McIlroy, Harrington, all in the top 50. Larry's first year as a pro kept his card at absolute ease. Since then, we've been lapped. I mean, there was 2 Danish golfers in the top 50 on the race to Dubai 15 years ago. Ahead of this year's DP World Tour Championship, there's 4 of them. They had 9. The players they had actually on tour was in double figures. Double figures. We had 1 regular. Norway has 2, and Japan, China, Finland are represented this week in the race to Dubai finale. Like, there are countries that are ahead of us. Like, Denmark is pretty much the same population as we do, just short of 6 million.
Sure, Armenia are beating the shite out of us in football.
It's very like the way the FAI is going. I have to say, I made the comparison. You look at, like, we've so many.
When Luxembourg came and done the job on us 3 or 4 years ago, Luxembourg came to Dublin, done the job. The writing was on the wall.
Oh, honestly. But like, we're hosting Euro 2028. That's not going to benefit grassroots League of Ireland, Irish football. We're hosting all these massive golf tournaments. Some have already been, like the amateur championships, the European teams, the Open was in Portrush. Like, what benefit is that to bringing through players? Like, it doesn't. There's no legacy there. Your legacy has to be improving the playing pool, improving Irish golf, and that's not happening at the moment. Like, you can tick all the boxes you want with all your sustainability and hosting all these brilliant tournaments, which is fantastic, but the public don't care about that. They want to see players.
Yeah. Is it just simply down to talent?
Yeah, well, it can be. And there is an argument for that. I mean, you do go through phases where the talent just isn't there.
But
I believe that we do have the players.
Yeah, I from seeing these guys up close, seeing how they operate, I do believe our guys are as good as anything else in Europe as a group of young lads trying to like beat down the door and progress their careers on in golf. Yeah, we're certainly not getting the most out of our best players outside of your.
There it is, in the essence. There's 20 Mark Powers trying to make the way in the game. Like, you can argue the quality of player on the DP World Tour, but you can't argue about like the diversity of it. Like, you're competing with so many different nations now, and that puts a squeeze. So you have to make sure that you're ahead of the curve, ahead of those nations, and we've fallen behind. Like Michael Hoey Michael Hoey won 5 times in the European Tour. No one talks about him.
Yeah.
Like such an undistinguished player, but he had a hell of a career.
Gareth Mabel.
Like, we couldn't.
Guys like that, Gareth Mabel, even Johnny Caldwell.
Johnny Caldwell
on the main tour.
Like, where's the next one of those lads coming from?
Yeah.
Like, we're not talking your McIlroys and your Lowrys and that. Like, the success, the glory days will still be there because McKibben, if he reaches the heights that we all believe he can, Larry McIlroy will be around for the next decade or so anyway. But behind that, there's nothing. And we can often, because we've had such a golden period since 2007, and even before that, with all the Ryder Cup players we produced, you can take it all for granted and just expect it and just demand success. But it did take us 60 years to bridge a gap between Open Championship wins. So maybe did we have the golden age, and what does the future look after that?
Yeah, it is more looking back at the Harringtons and the Peter Lorrys, all them, the Des Smiths, guys of that generation. You talk to every single one of them, and every time we get their ear and we sit down and go, what was the main difference? And we touched on it slightly at Harrington again, talking about it. The main difference in why they achieved back then is they did it as a group. There was 15 of them on tour, and they all of different generations. We now have guys on the same learning curve, if that makes sense, at the same level. There's no one really, even though Conor Purcell is dropping back from the main DP World Tour, I wouldn't say he's any better tooled than a Mark Power to go and attack the Challenge Tour next year. You know, there's no one, like, they were all at different stages of career. So when Harrington was coming along as a young lad, and Darren Clark, and they're in there, and they're being thrown in with Damien McGrain and Des Smith and Eamon Darcy and Philip Walton, and like, there's so many of these guys there, all at different stages of their careers. Some of them have just achieved, some of them are on the way up, but they're all 1 week away from, I'll get this back or I'll find this again. We don't have that depth.
No.
We don't have that depth of guys because, so, like, again, we have to re-emphasize, this is not us pointing fingers at a Golf Ireland or at the funding models and stuff like that. The sheer what is out there now, professional golf-wise, compared to what was out there 20 years ago, is a total different landscape as well. Like 20 years ago, when Harrington started winning and all these guys were at their peak, they were playing all their golf on the European Tour. So America didn't strip them away and pull them away. But that's another...
Yeah, well, you have to accept that opportunities are more limited now.
Massively more.
Massively. We've talked about it before. like
So then are we being
taking away lads coming through from the PGA or whatever, getting into Irish Opens or DP World events and everything. And then you've the PGA Tour rejects coming in and taking more spots. Live might get 14 lads at a big DP World Tour event. And that's taking opportunities away from other people. So there is that element as well. But
So are we being too picky then?
I wouldn't say so, no.
Yeah. I'd go along with you with that.
Because it wasn't like the landscape was fine 15 years ago when this was happening. This isn't a thing that's come along the last 3 or 4 years. This is systemic. That's been happening for nearly 2 decades. Like if you base your barometer at 2010, look at the Walker Cup players we produced since then. I mean the proof is there. Where is the money that we're putting into these high performance schemes and all these grants? Like where is it going? And you can't keep,
well, we know where it's going. It's just what are we getting for it?
You can't keep like just throwing shit against the wall and hope it sticks. You have to change somehow and think of a better way to spend this money, go down different routes, because at the moment, like it's not going to improve unless something changes.
Yeah. You're saying sack the board? Fark out. Is that what you're saying to me? Get the Americans out. We don't want their money anymore.
I go full Cork City and Kildare rule in Cork.
No, they owe us. Since they took Larry Tompkins' office, they owe us.
Don't get that reference.
Yeah, no, you see, you're too old. You're too young.
Too young.
Yeah, it is such a tough one, but yeah, something does need to change on it. I don't know what it is, but like you're deeper into this than most people would be, and you spent a lot of this time last year talking to players, compiling stuff. What's the most damning thing that a player said to you this time last year when you were doing a sort of gap at the top piece of what's wrong here? Because you spoke to them all. Don't name any names, obviously, but what's the most damning thing that someone said to you that you were like, Jesus Christ, I didn't know that was the case? That you couldn't put into that article that you did?
Oh, God, do I even remember? That's
can't have been too bad then.
No, but it's just simple things that we don't seem to be doing. Like we know Neil Manship travelled with the team this week, or the 5 players. Like that, what hadn't been happening at the time I was writing the article, that just wasn't happening. Like Spanish players would sit at one table with Gonzo Fernandez, Castaño, Rafael Jacquelin would be with the French lads, Bjorn be with the Danes, like Peter Hansen caddied for Ludwig Oberg at the amateur championship before he turned pro. Like those little things of mentorship is what a lot of people seem to be missing. Communication as well is a big thing. And yeah, just, I don't know, being professional, I think, as well. Like, are we preparing people for top level sport, cutthroat sport? Like, I wouldn't tell anyone to be a professional golfer.
No. No. Yeah, if your parents out there listening to this, avoid like,
professional golf is the easiest. This is one thing I was told. Golf is the easiest sport to turn professional in.
Yeah.
Absolute easiest thing, and you have to be so dedicated. Like, you can't combine it with anything. You can't do it just because you want your name on a bag. If you're doing a part-time job, those 3 or 4 hours, you should be hitting balls. You shouldn't be trying to earn money. Should we be sitting down with players and actually telling them, turning pro here isn't for you?
But Damien McGrain tried that.
There's players here that want to help, and they're not being let help.
But not being let by who, though?
That's the question.
Who do we point the fingers at? No. Yeah, no, it's not about that. It's not about that. There are issues, and there is going to be a lot of eyeballs. When I seen, like, I think the Irish Times did a big piece on it last week as well, pointing fingers. Was it the Irish Times?
Yeah, just after the Ryder Cup in October, yeah. Yeah,
so when you see main broadsheet newspapers actually take this into focus, it's for a reason. It's being looked at on a much higher level than 2 gobshites like us sitting with microphones in front of us throwing stones at lads that we're in no way specialised to be, criticising the direction or the leadership, but we certainly would have a bit of an insight into talking to a lot of players, both on and off the record, about what their gripes are, what their feelings are. And it is quite shocking when it comes out when you're talking to these guys that they're swimming alone in a big sea of sharks. And it's just to get that togetherness. It's great to see Neil Manchip out at Q School with the lads this week. It really is. But should that have been happening every year for the last decade?
Yeah, well, it shouldn't be entirely up to him to be out there. Can we not?
Is there a deeper pool?
There's ex-players that want to do that.
Yeah.
Happy to volunteer their time. I know there's like a couple of ex-players, or one current one actually, wanted to present, proposals to Golf Ireland, and were rejected and everything. I'd love to know what was said in those meetings or those phone calls or whatever it was. And because we can't keep going the same way that we're going. Like, the definition of insanity is just trying the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah. But so on the 5 players, where do we go from here? Whatever about the problems or issues that we have now cumulatively on tours and representation, where do we go? Like, what does, like we've already said, John Ross Galbraith, where does he go from here?
Try get some hotel planner tour starts and try work his way up to getting a permanent card via the clutch tour, I suppose. That would be the best route for him. Again, like, he's had a good year, but there's nowhere to go from that for him. Like, to get to the final stage is a big achievement for him. Sharvin was a free hit in the sense that he's doing his PGA. He gave up the game briefly, has refound his form and his love for it. I actually thought, of all the players, he might want to put a sneaky few quid on to get a card. It would have been him, just for that no pressure element.
Yeah, I would have went along with that.
Max is just his form, like Liam, just his form tailed off the second half of the season. Worrying trend of really, really great stretches of golf, then a couple of disaster holes. Be something he'd be looking to eradicate over the winter. Purcell just had to pick himself up and go again. An experienced player at hotel planner tour level. Has that continued progression throughout his career. You'd probably say this year was the first bump in the road. And for Mark, a lot expected of him since he turned pro. He'll admit himself that he struggled, had status at the start of the year on the hotel planner tour, didn't make enough of the starts. Now, with a full card and a win as a pro, he's ending the year in a much better place than he was when I would have spoken to him 12 months ago or so.
Yeah.
And that's encouraging. And it's encouraging Jimmy Sugar getting his card as well. He's only 28. Like, there's so much time for these lads.
Yeah.
And they're the crop that we need, the lads who are 22 to 31, 32 coming through. Like, it was an interesting crop of lads at Q School this year, because with JR and Sharvin, you wouldn't have said they're the future in many respects. They're just there because they've had a good run. Like, you wouldn't have pinpointed them as two of your... If you had 7 or 8 lads, you wouldn't have pinpointed them as 2 of them to get cards. So essentially we had 3 contenders.
Yeah.
If you want to narrow it down even more.
Interesting though, like the dynamic of players and the stuff. Like, if we go back, again, you're going back a few years, but like, and Tom McKibben is by no way like a byproduct of Golf Ireland, I would say, because he circumvented the whole system, went around it, did his own thing, steered his own course. Didn't he wasn't as representative for his country as he probably would have liked to be, and just steered his own course. But like, how would those players look at Tom when he was in around the Irish team for the small amount of time he was? Like, he was just a kid, and now they're looking at going, like, 4 years later, look what he's done. How has he done that? Why isn't he not? I don't think he has ever been asked for advice from anyone in the fold. And he's the only one that's like of that crop of players that we've talked about. Like, Rory McIlroy was always destined for greatness. Shane Lowry, I would probably say I wouldn't say destined for greatness, but he's a generational talent in what he did, and he worked his socks off. Like, if we were playing poker, Rory McIlroy got dealt pocket aces. Lowry got like ace jack off suit or something like that. He had to work. He was talented, but he had to work his socks off
Yeah.
to get it. Harrington, I would have had in the same mold.
Yeah.
Worked
Like
his
McKibben
absolute.
McKibben was bigged up for
He was
greatness.
bigged up for it, but it's a total different direction he went, and it's worked. And I don't even strip away the live bullshit. Before that, he'd aced every test he went on.
Yeah.
You know, he went about it that, like, I remember when Tom McKibben took his. We seem to be turning into a Tom McKibben podcast every week,
Yeah.
but like I need to get off this.
Well, he could be all we have in 10 years.
But that's the thing.
all we
That's
have in
the
10
thing.
years.
Like, I remember thinking to myself when I got a message, I think it was from his dad, saying he was going turning pro, wasn't going to go to college, and he was going to make. It was during COVID. Like, it was going to like Tenerife for one of those island opens. He was after getting an invite to this, and his first press conference, Tom just sitting in front of a camera, having a one-on-one chat with me and one or two others, and you're just going, what is this kid doing? But he backed himself, and it has worked. Like, do we study what has worked, why it has worked? Because not only did he do that, it took him 2 years to get off the hotel planner tour, and then he went on first year on the main tour, wins, kicks on off that, gets top 10, gets his PGA Tour status. What did Tom McKibben do that's anyway different? What jumped him ahead of 40 other guys that I would have had better placed world ranking wise, and 40 has been unfair, but do you know what I mean? A good bunch of lads that were there that were ahead of him, and then he did something totally different, bypassed this whole thing. Then you look at like outliers, like a David Carey, trying something totally different,
Yeah.
going to the States. Some would say batshit crazy stuff, but going to the States, playing Monday, he is again in his own way trying to steer past the minefield of spending money in the middle and saying, right, where can I spend a decent amount of money in less spots, but give myself a better opportunity statistically to try and get starts and then capitalize on that. There's no right or wrong answer, but I just don't know where we're going for the answers, or it's like any exam that you sit. The most important thing is to read and understand the question.
And write your name.
And write your name, yeah, write your name. So, I don't know. We're not answering the right questions.
Yeah.
We're probably not asking the right questions.
Yeah, I know.
And we all want the same thing.
We all want,
us as fans, media,
but these are the questions
journalists,
that, I'm sure you know yourself. You play golf with random people on a Saturday and Sunday. I get asked this all the time.
Yeah,
what's
why?
going on?
But there's no answer to it. But we need people if it's not working in golf, it has worked in other sports in Ireland. Why aren't we not bringing in outside people? Because it's not the golf. It's the structure.
It's the system, systematic.
It's the systems and the structure. So surely we have business, sports specialists in other sports, even that aren't Irish, that we can bring in. Like bringing in a dentist to manage the football team. Like, they were trying something different.
Did not work.
They
Well,
were trying something different.
It's not working so far.
Listen,
Tomorrow
we beat that Cod and his team from Portugal this week, it might work. But yeah, we've spent a good half an hour talking about it. Do you know what? And we've spoken about it during the year. We're going to reach out to Neil Manship and see, because he is the one. The buck stops with him, as in planning, strategic decisions on where we go from here. Even he, you spoke to him a lot. Neil is one of the nicest guys you'll come across, and he cares. It's built in him to make this succeed, and I'm sure he's more as frustrated as anybody, but he might give some insight as to where we're going and why we're going there and what direction we're taking and what we're trying and what other people have done, because he's exposed to it all day, every day, and it's on his lap.
Yeah.
So we'll try and get Neil in for a chat between now and the curtain drawn down in 2025.
Yeah, it would be interesting to get his thoughts on it.
Because he's a sound bloke. He is a really nice fella.
Yeah.
And, he cares. He cares. If he didn't care, he wouldn't be going to Q school last week with the lads.
True.
So yeah, let's see from that. There are other Q school stuff going on this week. We have
another quintet in the Alps Tour Q school. Yeah. So Mark Boucher and Tom Dowdle, who played Alps and Clutch Pro last year, are in Q school action alongside amateurs Colin McCanna, Stephen Grant, ex League of Ireland player.
Oh, Grant, he's good.
Yeah, and
boy, a Grant Boiler.
and Sam Murphy from Portumna. So that's on Wednesday to Friday. If you make the cut, you get a card essentially. Top 35 then get like category 8 status, and then 35 to 60 odd get category 9 or something. And then even just being there at the final stage, I think even if you miss the cut, you might get a couple of starts.
It's soulless.
It's soulless shit.
It is. No, but like you make a card, you get category 8. Brilliant. What does that mean?
Nothing.
It means you can spend 50 grand going around continental Europe playing golf next
Egypt.
year. Yeah.
Going to
It means
Egypt.
you can go to Egypt for a month. Yeah, exactly. And pay 500 quid to enter a tournament that unless you finish first, second or third, you're losing your absolute arse pocket, like empty.
Even third is a push.
Yeah, it's... Yeah, don't do it. Anyone thinking of it, don't do it. Don't put your name in your bag, ever.
Before we move on from all that, I think the Europro Tour, I've said this a few times now over the last couple of years, the loss of that has been felt massively as well.
We went to the last one of that. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was grim.
It was grim. Up in Lough Erne, their tour championship, and I sat down with Dan Godding. I did a podcast, and it was sad because I don't think the Clutch has done anything to evolve that in a better way than it was before with Europro. If anything, it has brought it to... I find it very hard to understand the Clutch Tour tiers and tours, and it's like it's a money-making exercise, and it shouldn't be like that. Like, these tours are privately ran, and I don't know, I hate saying it out loud, but it sometimes it needs to be said. Like, they're just feeding a habit.
Yeah.
There are ways... They're literally dangling the dream for 5 lads to be able to kick on, and they know there's a couple of 100 lads. Like, how many people are going to enter Clutch Q School?
I think it's already happened.
No, but how many people have entered? Like, it could be 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Trying to get in there, all paying... They could be paying $1,000 each.
And, like, the holy grail is the Hotel Planet Tour for some reason.
Yeah, I know.
It's seen as, I don't know what, like...
Yeah.
It's great tour, the Hotel Planner, I have to say.
But it's relentless and ruthless.
Yeah. Like, it gets no easier when you go up there.
No. This is all doom and gloom. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a doom and gloom kind of day out there.
It is. Anyone out walking now is like, don't jump into that canal. Stay, keep walking. Yeah. There is light at the end of this tunnel.
Will get better.
There is light at the end of this tunnel. If you're out walking or you're in the gym and you're after throwing weights against a wall or something, stop. It's all good. It's all good. Right. More positive stuff. Let's talk about Abu Dhabi. Just gone.
Well, McIlroy lost. How was it positive?
It's positive.
Yeah, Aaron Roy. What a man. Beating Tommy in the playoff. Second time he's beaten him in the playoff, actually.
Yeah.
Beat him in the Scottish Open in 2020.
Beat him with a 7-year-old tailor-made driver as well.
Was it M6? M6, yeah. Unbelievable. Two
with
gloves, iron
a pink
covers.
Castle tee, iron covered. It's like, he's a weirdo.
If
when it comes to equipment.
If a club golfer like him came up for the tee at 8 o'clock on a Saturday, you'd probably go home.
Yeah, like, you'd look at him and go, who is this chap? Yeah. Just like gas. But no, it's just, he does it his own way. Serious golf. It was unbelievable golf down the stretch. Tommy has just evolved into, since I had the eulogy for him, he's kicked into some serious form. Like, I'd take it with a pinch of salt, whatever. He got himself in the mix there last week. Great to see. He was getting a bit of flack I seen afterwards for gamesmanship.
Yeah, that was
going
nonsense.
Back to the tee.
That was ridiculous.
The man needed to go to the toilet or something.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Just like
I'm not giving that time of day.
No, I know. I agree with that. Playoffs in general, though, especially on that, like, we've had so many par 5 finishes on playoffs. The K Club was one of them, and like, there's so many different par 5s.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Was it? They're both laying up to the same spot. Like
Yeah.
I agreed with the lads on TV. I think Radar called it out. Said, "Why not move the tee up? Give them a chance to take it on a 2
Yeah.
second time round." Because it's just literally a dance off from 80 yards from down on a big hill.
Yeah. Yeah. At least there's jeopardy in the sense that there wasn't at the K Club, whereas, like, you know, if you make a birdie, you're not going to lose the thing. Like, you had to make an eagle to win that playoff for a long, long time at the K Club. Until someone makes a mistake. Here, it comes down to the putter, which I do like. But then it is boring if it goes to 2 and 3 holes and they're all just laying
go to
up.
a par 3 if there's playoffs. Just go to a good par 3.
Yeah.
Or have a chip off or something at the 18th. There has to be better ways of doing it. Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, I think par 4s are the best.
Yeah, well, par 4s with jeopardy off the tee.
Yeah. Like
trouble
the
right or trouble left.
JJ Spawn, Justin Rose one was that was the one.
Yeah, so like of the Irish in there, like I'm not even going to talk about Shane Lowry. He got off to a start, but he shouldn't be in the field. Special invite. Gets no points.
He was in the final group 3 years in a row going into the Sunday at Yas Links and finishes at the top 10 every single time. Still hasn't got a top 10 there, even though he's had a chance to win for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
It's mental. Even like shooting 68 and he drops 4 places. That's not for me.
No. I was waxing lyrical about Tom McKibben last week, but like the course, it's not one of his favourites. I thought his game would carry on. Obviously, bit tired after the win in Hong Kong. Lump this week. Do not take betting advice from me, but he's 22-1 on Paddy Power. Is anyone thinking now? Get on.
This really is a Tom McKibben podcast.
No, get on. I'm telling you now, get on. There's value there. There is value to be had. And then Rory shoots 62 final round.
Career low on the DP World Tour. I mean, it's not even surprising. You just knew he was going to do it.
Yeah.
Like in third gear all week, and then decides, I'll just roll in 5 birdies in a row and put the cat amongst the pigeons.
Rory doing Rory things.
And maybe an old Tommy Fleetwood would have wilted. Like, even though he didn't win, I'd say Tommy Fleetwood now doesn't back off when the big names start coming at him. He's able to hold them off now. Whereas, you know, a couple of runs at majors where he came through the pack. Now, if he's actually in their business end on a Sunday morning, teeing off in the final couple of groups, certainly doesn't wilt.
It's perspective, isn't it? You like, if you were to go to Tommy Fleetwood 6 months ago as a psychologist, I don't think he looked at himself like a big fish.
No. He's world number 4.
Yeah. Whereas now, if you were to ask him psychologically, if you were to have him psychologically assessed, he would relish going up against Scotty Scheffler in a tournament.
Yeah.
He mightn't come out the right side of it, but he's lost enough to actually value himself and just, like his young lad, I just tried my best.
Try me hardest.
Tried me hardest. But yeah, it's brilliant. It's great to see. I love Tommy Fleetwood. Like he's such a likable character.
Yeah, he is.
The new driver was interesting for Rory, Tommy. Like 7 of the 9. It's very unusual for 7 of the 9 players that were contracted on both tours to actually switch first week to the new QI 4D driver.
Yeah, you usually see this in January.
And they're hard to actually get. Like Rory is notoriously hard to get new product into his hands, but he took this in straight away. So they've obviously got something right. Like I'm going to Carlsbad next week with TaylorMade to have a look and have a chat and go through the sort of what's behind this driver and what's behind the full lineup. But very interesting. Like if tour adoption is anything to go by, they haven't seen tour adoption like this in a long time for a driver like this. So they obviously got it wrong with QI 35 from a tour level. From an amateur level. Like I've never had a driver in my hand that's performed as well as that. I love it. I'll find it very hard to get off, but like all of the data and all of the conversations I've had with them directly is like, you are not going to believe this. It was just simple things. Like you have to admire them in some way. And I know everyone's screaming again. Like you have to admire these guys that they come back every year with something new or new. People would say it's gimmick or people say like it's all marginal gains. But to get 7 of 9 of their contracted players straight out the bat, switching into something means it's working in some way. So they've found something with weight, something with spin that's dialed it in for these guys. And if they can do that, the shaping looks different to me. If they can do that for the pros, they can do a lot for the amateur side. So yeah, interested to see what comes of that.
So, I mean, you're bringing me back free gear.
Yeah, maybe. A few golf balls, a few heads. Yeah, anything else in Abu Dhabi?
No,
It's really all in Dubai this week. Like, it's
Yeah,
Rory going for his seventh.
7th race to Dubai, 4th in a row, and 4th DP World Tour Championship if he wins the tournament itself.
Do you value the titles? Like the race to Dubai? Like when you see Marco Penge and all that he's played in Europe this year, like how many times has Rory actually set foot in Europe?
We've said this for years. I mean, you can play 7 times. Sir Collin Montgomerie won the race to Dubai by accident, essentially.
Yeah,
like in
I know.
21 or whenever it was. And
Yeah.
yeah, I get you. Like, I remember when Harrington won it in 08, maybe 07, 08. It was a massive deal.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge. And probably doesn't have the same weight now.
I don't think it does because
It doesn't, but
like,
the players aren't the same.
no.
Like,
You don't have the opportunity to actually compete. Like Marco Penge going up against Rory in Europe. Marco Penge has had a better season,
oh yeah,
but that's not what the benchmark is. It's the major points count, and I don't know. It's like it's a bit of an unfair advantage counting all the majors. I know is there limited field events, stuff like that as well. Like it's all loaded in
co-sanctioned ones.
Yeah, it's loaded in their favor.
Yeah, well,
To get Rory to win or to have him
to get the big lads
thereabouts.
back as well onto the tour. Yeah,
Even Lowry playing this week, like Lowry and Aberg playing this week.
yeah, it's nonsense.
Like
isn't it?
no race to Dubai points last week or this week. Why would you go? Why? I don't know. I know they're playing like they can get world ranking points. Yes. No race to Dubai points because they're just invited. I see they're going out first on the timesheet as well. Like if there was no, if they weren't,
It's like when you go out early morning before the main competition on a Saturday or Sunday or something, like, isn't it?
yeah. Do you know the way they have a plate for the captain's prize
Yeah,
of lads that didn't qualify?
that's them.
Here's what you couldn't win.
I
But,
win.
like,
I win that every year.
if they weren't allowed prize money, or they shouldn't be allowed prize money. That should just be stuck in the field. But they're going to give them prize money on it. And would they turn up?
Probably not.
Probably not. No, like, yeah, it's all for the love of the game, growing the game.
Yeah,
You know, the good guys.
win for the good guys.
Win for the good guys. That'll come back a lot. Right. Yeah, Dubai should be interesting.
Yeah, and these things, like, we question the meaning and validity of them. They mean a lot to Rory, and I believe that.
Yeah, they do, and I do believe that, and it does mean a lot to him. And like he's putting his money where his mouth is, playing national championships, doing all that. But I'm just saying, he's chasing Sevi's record, or he's equal with Sevi, or
Yeah.
he's chasing Monty's record. Like Monty's crowns were far harder to win
Yeah,
than
he wins
Rory's.
7 in a row.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
but that is unbelievable stuff. What
And-
Rory
and,
McIlroy,
and obviously major performances didn't matter for that. So
yeah, like obviously, yeah. But like, I would value Monty's
yeah, so would I.
on much higher pedestal than Rory's, and that's not to devalue or talk down. What he's doing is remarkable, and I'm Rory McIlroy's biggest fanboy, but it's just not the same.
He alluded to as much himself in the presser. He said Monty's 8 and then 7 in a row isn't spoken about enough. Like, it's unbelievable.
It's not. It's an unbelievable achievement. Yeah, yeah. Like you were too young to even see that. I remember following Monty around Druids Glen for Irish Opens and stuff like that, and watching him win. Like he was an assassin. Just so good, so narky, but so good. Right, PGA Tour really quick on that. Seamus Power. He'd be
Yeah,
he's
Sundays
let
are
it
killing
slip
him.
again.
Yeah, Sundays are just killing him. Like, he was actually in the fringes of contention
He's done.
midway on Saturday. Well, he needs a top 2
He
finish
needs
to
a
get
top
that.
one.
Yeah,
He needs a top one
one.
finish.
So he's 133rd in the FedEx Cup, moved up 2 places, which you might as well have fallen 10. It doesn't change what you need. Top 100 get full PGA Tour status for next year.
What happens if he doesn't?
Top 125 get conditional status. It wouldn't be a disaster. You have the Aon next 10 thing. You can play yourself into bigger events from there. Like, that wouldn't be a complete crisis moment for him. But I mean, the Sundays are killing him.
Yeah.
Like even though he shot a 2-under Sunday round the last day, just with the low scoring, he fell, I think, 10 or 12 places. It costs you.
No, it does, and it's not getting any easier. Like when
2 events left, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. 2 events left to save your full-time job for next year. And no, listen, Seamus is a fighter. Seamus is, he's someone that we didn't really talk about on earlier in the pod when we were talking about these global superstars. Like Seamus, again, like a Tom McKibben, did it his own way.
Yeah.
Like,
Had to go through some hardship.
Yeah.
Over the years.
And went, like, again, they're the type of people we should be looking at. The Tom McKibbens and the Seamus Powers. How come these lads did things different? What worked for them? Map that in, get them involved, get feedback on that. Like,
yeah. So all you need, like, I mean, he had a couple of great years, made 15 million.
Yeah.
I mean, that's should be the aim, just come through and hit a spark for a while. Like, it doesn't really seem like we have anybody in that league at the moment.
Yeah. Live Golf made some big announcements the day we stuck out last week's pod.
Going to 72 holes.
I don't know about this.
Well, yeah, it meets one of the criteria to earn world ranking points, but it's still jobs for the boys. And then in doing so, playing tournaments with ranking points with lads who are 600 in the world, your just strength of field is going to be terrible.
Yeah, I like.
So they've nearly ruined it on themselves.
They spent $5 billion before they've came to this conclusion. They spent $5 billion before they actually come to the conclusion. Maybe,
and they didn't even want this originally.
54 holes for us.
They had a poll or a survey, and it was going the other way. And now we're actually all right. Stick with 54.
Yeah, that was last year. I think. Yeah, Tyrrell Hatton let that cat out of the bag at his presser last week. That all but 3 players voted to stay 54 holes.
Yeah.
And it's obviously been presented to them different. They've voted. But listen, the players to them are just heads on a stick. They don't care. Like, does Yasser go, only 3 of them have voted for this, we can't do it? No. Yeah. This is our tour. If they don't like it, unsign them. Yeah, this is Shooter's Tour, exactly. Unsign them and move on. And that's the problem, not the 72 holes. It's the... Like, you cannot have a tour that, like... And I'm one that watch Live for the sake of some of the players that are in it, but you cannot be given world ranking points to Ian Poulter. So that keeps his job no matter what he does, because he was an early adopter into something. He bought shares at the right time, backed this horse, and now has ownership in a team. Or, guys like that, of that ilk, that can't lose their jobs. That can't be the way.
No, it can't. It's jobs for the boys, you know.
I know that.
Also, heard someone say, could have been McDowell, I'm not sure. That
just trying to
we want to prepare lads for the majors. That's why we're going to 72 holes. And I was like, I'll give it a rest.
They're gone from growing the game.
The live record in majors has been fine.
But
so that's nonsense.
But I'm a fan of Liv, and I'm laughing at this. So the way, like, why would they do this? Why are they torpedoing their own? They're just admitting they've totally fecked up.
Yeah.
Like, they've totally fecked up. They have promised these players X, Y, and Z, knowing that they couldn't deliver, thinking that they could buy their way into something that they've totally, like, I don't know what way the contracts are. It'd be interesting if a player does come out. Like, surely they're in breach of contract in some way with these big players that they've given these players an out to actually jump ship and sue them. You're changing their working conditions, like, It's crazy. Like, you're changing their working conditions to give them something that they've probably promised them already that would have happened by now, but because they've misread the whole. Like, there's no way the PGA Tour, if Liv are going like this now and changing their whole plan, there's no way these tours are ever coming together. That's just gone. So, yeah, that's another day's work. Anything else you wanna? Round up.
Yes, Lauren Walsh last week kept her place in the top 10, the LET Order of Merit. I suppose pretty good going into the Costa del Sol at the end of the month, so she's a couple of weeks off. So obviously big rewards that we've discussed before with major invites and
it's bad, isn't it? The one really positive thing that's happened in golf in the last week, and we wait 54 minutes to mention Lauren Walsh doing that. But lots to talk about.
Yeah, well, it should be more in the conversation when the LAT finale is on. So, Leona Maguire playing this week.
She is looking over her shoulder.
Week. Well, she has her car, but she's 53rd in the standings, I think, 54th.
And 60 get in. She's 56th, I think.
56th.
Yeah.
So
only 4 players, but like no one. She has a bit of a gap. I don't think anyone's going to close. Like 4 players aren't going to overtake her, but just about into their final
tour championship next week. Yeah, 11 million prize purse.
Yeah,
good to see that now. But I know he's probably your hero, so I don't know should I say it or not. But it's about Eddie Pepperell.
Right, we're going straight to heroes and villains.
Going straight to heroes and villains.
Yeah, so he was listed as my hero.
Well, I know he was.
Eddie Pepperell.
Well,
how did you know he was?
He's regained. You told me. He's regained his DP World Tour playing rights for next year.
Paddy Harrington, heroes of the week. We're into heroes and villains already.
Heroes and
Rowan's
villains
wrecked it, and he's obviously looking to go. And is there a taxi or an Uber waiting outside?
No. I'm walking to the match tomorrow.
So yeah, Eddie Pepperell. Yeah, it's great to see him back. I like Eddie. I've always had a soft spot for Eddie Pepperell.
He was crying after he got his card there.
Yeah,
said this week felt like a bit of a struggle, never more so than today, midway through the round. But I really hung in there. I'm delighted. It's tough to put into words, really. And then Laurie Cantor, an hour before that, was asking on Twitter, is there any chance of getting like a live stream of the 18th green?
That's bad to watch lads shite themselves.
I'd be more of the side, surely lads get their card.
All well and good for Laurie Cantor now with all his live money sitting there pontificating to lads. All right, Laurie, pipe down. You know, all your cliques money falling out of your back pocket. That didn't end too well for you, Laurie. I'd like to see the 18th green and some of those live events that you stood in for and dumped away.
Well, he wouldn't have finished on the 18th. He would never in the final group. He'd have finished on the 4th or something.
I suppose, yeah. Shotguns. Forgot that.
Shotguns. Don't forget the shotguns.
Good spot. But no, Eddie Pepperell, yeah, from a man that was leading a Challenge Tour event earlier on this year. So he lost his status this time last year, dropped back to the Challenge Tour, took a bit of time off, played a few events, then got injured, was leading a Challenge Tour event in France, going into the final round and had to pull out an hour before his tee time, with back injuries and, from a week potentially getting 50 grand in prize money and loads of points, ends up getting nothing from, and done all the work to navigate your way around. It's great to see someone like him back, and the tour needs guys like Eddie Pepperell. He's been around a long time, but he's just such a likeable individual. His
great
podcast
character.
is brilliant as well. It's the Pepper Pod is really good.
Yeah, I agree. I'm probably going to be outdone now. But anyway.
Go on, right. You've another hero.
My hero nomination is Patrick Reed.
Jesus Christ. What?
So, loyal man to the DP World Tour. I won't have bad words said about him.
Lifetime member.
He fulfilled his 4th start, which is what you need to be eligible for membership, as early as July. And this week he's playing the DP World Tour Championship, which will be his 10th regular DP World Tour start of the year, more than any other Ryder Cup player who played for Europe this year.
Yeah.
I think fair play to him.
That's not out of choice. That's not like a...
Yeah, I know, but he's showing commitment.
I'll give... He has always had a soft spot for coming to Europe.
Yeah.
In fairness to him, they didn't give him lifetime membership for nothing back in the day. He always came across, he always was a man for doing things his own way. But yeah, hero status, no, he's no fucking chance up against Eddie Pepperell. Fair play to him. I'm delighted for him.
He'll have played 31 times this year.
Yeah. I have him in the Live Rat group.
I know I'm going to lose, but I just thought it was worth a mention.
Yeah, he's worth a mention. Go on. Right. Yeah. Eddie Pepperell wins. You lose. Right. Gary Player villains of the week.
I
actually have
maybe the tour in itself, the DP World Tour, for giving two boys invites into the DP World Tour Championship.
Yeah, it's tokenism at its finest, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just don't agree with it. You made your rankings to suit picking a Ryder Cup team, and when the guys don't fulfill enough points to then qualify for the last two events, namely Ludwig Aberg and Shane Lowry, then you just say, we'll
Make up an exemption. Pull an exemption out of your arse.
You know that 50-man field there and that 70-man field, there's now 52 and 72. And we're giving the lads money and they can get ranking points, but they're not able to get DP World points. So
that's the real killer. You're not able to get race to Dubai points.
Oh, yeah. I know. But it's good to see they're out first in the plate.
In the plate. Tailteann Cup final.
Easy on the Tailteann Cup. That's a valuable tournament. Right, I think that's it for the week. We've harped on for an hour.
Yeah.
We didn't think this would be as long. Sorry if we've absolutely pushed people to the edge of their tether on the next wave of Irish golf or what's coming through or what's not, but we're just at that stage of the season where there's winners, there's losers, there's consequences, and it's people's livelihoods, and there are people responsible for how there's a lot of money going in, a lot of taxpayers' money going in to fund a lot of these things and initiatives. And if people, not just like us, but people all up and down the country aren't questioning why or where or what about where this is going, we'll just keep making the same mistakes over and over again, because we just need things to change and move on a little bit. And hopefully next season, 2026, is a season of, like we said, these guys all playing together and kicking on.
I swear, we're actually good crack away from the microphone.
We are, yeah. So it's not all doom and gloom. It's all good. Cheers for tuning in. You can keep up to date with all that's happening in Dubai and the Alps Q School that we were talking about on irishgolfer.ie. Visit us on all of our social channels. Do like and subscribe to the pod if you enjoy the listen, if you're still with us, and leave a comment, leave us any feedback, or reach out on any of our social channels. We're always happy to hear any feedback. Thanks to Flowgas for the sponsorship. Visit flowgas.ie for all your energy needs, and we will be back. I'm actually away in the States next week, so we're going to have the Quaylen Rafferty pod that Ronan sat down with last week. We have a new magazine out this Friday, so there's an in-depth interview and a real iconic photograph on the cover of that. I'll chat to you in 2 weeks, and you'll hear Ronan's dulcet tones with Quaylen Rafferty on Monday. So chat to you again soon.